What? Izzie, what are you doing?
Look.
Most unique dresser. What's wrong with that?
Unique? What does that mean?
How should I know?
Ugh, forget it. I need a girl opinion.
We became interested in the health of the reefs.
If the reefs are gone, the fish are going to be gone.
We began to ask questions.
I wonder if we'll see more fish here.
And it became this full-on investigation.
Next on SciGirls.
It's going to be really cool.
Funding for SciGirls is provided by the following. The National Science Foundation, supporting education and research across all fields of science and engineering. The National Science Foundation, where discoveries begin.
Math and science are everywhere. They're the building blocks of tomorrow. That's why ExxonMobil sponsors programs to get kids excited about math, science, engineering, and technology. So one day they may become the scientists of the future.
SCIGIRLS! We need SCIGIRLS! Come on! When I need help and I've got a question, there's a place I go for inspiration. Gotta get to the web, check the girls' investigation. What girl? SciGirls! Woo! SCIGIRLS!
I need you!
SCIGIRLS! Come on! You got log on, post, upload, pitch in! Yeah! Wanna get inside a world that's fascinating? The time is right, 'cause SciGirls are waiting! SCIGIRLS! We need SCIGIRLS!
SciGirls!
Iz? Your mom said you were down here. What? Izzie, what are you doing?
Class superlatives came out today. Did you see them?
No, but whatever they said you were, it isn't worth hiding out in your dryer for the next 2 years.
I'm not hiding. I'm trying to figure it out. Look.
Most unique dresser. So, what's wrong with that?
Unique? What does that mean? Unique. Unique good, unique bad? How am I supposed to know?
Good question. Hey, look! I'm in here!
Yeah.
Most likely to embarrass himself on the casting special for American Idol? Whoa! They like me! They really like me, Iz!
Jake, focus. The question is, do they like the way I dress?
How should I know?
Forget it. I need a girl opinion. A SciGirl opinion. See ya! Ladies! I have a fashion emergency. Next. Ooh. Colored fish? Colored clothes? I wonder.
Oh my God, I've never been up here before. My name is Meg. I'm 14 years old.
I've dove like way on the other side of the island.
I'm an older sister. My younger sister's also here. I've never scuba dived with her before, so it could be different.
My name is Elle, and I'm 13 years old. We are going into Avalon on Catalina Island.
My sister and I, we went to camp this year. We both became interested in the health of the reefs around Toyon Bay on Catalina Island. We began to ask questions about, like, are the reefs healthy? How can we learn more?
You definitely should care about protecting the reefs because they're a source of food for the fish, protection, shelter, oxygen, everything we pretty much need, and the fish need. If the reefs are gone, the fish are going to be gone. And then when the fish are gone, the ocean is going to die away.
Los Angeles is right there, and Catalina is right here.
Yeah, so we started here, and we took a boat out to here.
And if you actually look really carefully, right there is Cherry Cove.
Toyon Bay.
Toyon Bay, I mean. We gonna play Frisbee?
Yeah. Awesome.
Not very good. Might go in the water.
I have to flat out say I'm not the perfect older sister.
Here we go long.
Throw it to me! Throw it to me!
Having a scuba sister is a lot of fun because since I'm fairly new to it, she can tell me like all the tricks and like what to do and what not to do.
She doesn't really enjoy it if I try to teach her things. She likes to learn on her own. I have not been trying to mentor her on how to scuba dive.
Is the hardest rock wall on this rock wall?
Some of the things I want to experience on my own, and she always wants to tell me what to do.
And TT, do not go higher than the first one without a harness, please.
It's funny. Not like in a bad way, feel like she wants to help me.
Like, she's a good sister. I could think of worse sisters. I definitely could. I doubt she'll ever be the perfect little sister. There's no such thing. But she's a pretty good little sister. Hey, what's the Garibaldi scientific name?
Hips pops rubicundus.
Let's try. And somebody who works at camp recommended meeting Colleen from Reef Check. I love trying to pronounce all of these scientific names.
Hi, ladies. Hi, I'm Colleen from Reef Check.
Hi, I'm Meg.
Hi.
I'm Elle.
Nice to meet you. Your instructor told me that you wanted to learn a little more about reefs.
Yeah. By meeting her, it kind of opened up a whole door to learning more and comparing, and it just became this full-on investigation that started off with, are the reefs healthy? So, like, you guys, like, count the fish and to see how healthy it is?
We do. We go out, we count fish, we count invertebrates, we count seaweed, and we look at the bottom and we see what's going on out there. I work with volunteer divers, and we call them citizen scientists, and they go out with us to help us collect this data, because the 5 of us that work at Reef Check wouldn't possibly be able to go out and get all of this information ourselves all throughout the state of California. So we need a lot of help.
What we're going to be doing?
So what we can do is try to put together something for teenagers that might be a little easier for us to do in a couple days, and we can have you guys work as citizen scientists as well, and we can try to figure out what our reefs are doing here on Catalina Island.
That'd be so much fun.
Citizen scientist Izzie, ready for duty.
I want to see how much you guys know about some of the species we have around here.
Quiz us.
I'm going to do a quick quiz. Ladies, what is this fish here?
Blacksmith.
I'm going to pick this one.
Kelp bass.
And this is one of my favorites as well.
Garibaldi.
Now, do you know what these
Is that a female
blacksmith
sheephead?
Yes, it is a female sheephead. Do you know the difference between a male and a female? How do you-
Yeah, the male has the black and red stripes.
All sheephead are born female, and when they get to be about 8 years old or so, and they need to start thinking about reproducing, the 2 biggest females in the group will kind of come up to each other and do this big open mouth contest to figure out who's going to be the bigger one, and whoever wins that contest ends up turning into a male. What tends to be living on some of our rocky reefs out here?
Plants or animals?
Well, all of it, right?
There's a lot of kelp forests, and there's sea urchins that feed on the kelp and stuff like that.
There are a bunch of fish.
There's all of these animals.
All these.
Okay, great. So it's not just one thing we're looking at. We're not looking at, say, just kelp or just leopard sharks or things like that. It's a lot of things kind of living and kind of working together in one ecosystem. Yeah. What we can try to do maybe is look at a couple different reefs that maybe have different amounts of humans on them to kind of see if there's a difference between them and see what's going on out there.
See which one's healthier, which one's not. Okay.
And an easy way to do that is to pick what we call indicator species. If we pick a few of those that kind of have a key part of this ecosystem, what we can do is count those numbers and compare them between 2 different sites. Meg and I are going to be looking at 8 indicator species. So each one was chosen for a special reason, either what it eats, or if it's commercially harvested, or if it just plays an important role in the ecosystem.
We are in the invertebrate lab. This is a sea cucumber, and it's kind of scared because I touched it, so it's swollen up. If you kiss a sea cucumber, you get 7 years of good
Ew.
luck.
All right, let's see it, ladies.
Okay. Mwah.
Very nice, very nice.
An invertebrate is a sea animal that does not have any bones. So most important is it does not have a spine. I like invertebrates because they're fun.
Yo, feels
chill,
you.
Dude, chill.
It feels you.
Oh yeah, good one, good one. You got it.
Woo!
You got it.
Grab it.
Nice one.
So are there any animals here that are indicator species?
So one of them that I was thinking of was the sea urchin.
Whoa, spiky.
Now these guys have 5 kind of teeth on the underside of their body, and that's how they eat. If they're eating a lot of the seaweed, these might be good to know. Also, we've got our sea cucumber. I was thinking that might be a good thing for us to look at as well.
Because they're so popular, they're everywhere.
A couple of other animals over here. It's actually called a Gorgonian. Now these guys, if you look really closely at what looks like a plant, do you see how there's like lots of little flower-looking things on these guys?
Yeah.
The Gorgonian has lots of little things that are like anemones. They're called polyps. And so on one Gorgonian, there could be thousands of polyps living together on this.
So many.
Looks like it's covered in snow.
Wow. Sea urchins, cucumbers, indicator species. Got it.
I'm sure you know what this stuff is.
Seaweed.
Kelp.
What might this be important for?
Well,
Yeah, it's going to be a great food source. Shelter.
yeah, for like the kelp fish, it's like an easy way to hide from predators.
Exactly. Anything else Oxygen, right? So it's really important for that as well. So those are kind of my 3 big reasons why I think kelp's so important out there in the ocean. It's also in a lot of products that we use that you guys probably are aware of.
Toothpaste.
And?
Ice cream.
Toothpaste and ice cream? Seriously?
I think we should have some way to record information underwater. So I have these data slates that we can use underwater, and there's one for each of you. We talked about 4 species of fish that we can use as indicator organisms. We talked about 3 species of inverts or invertebrates and 1 species of seaweed. So I kind of made up this little data sheet that we can use. And what'll happen is this has been printed on this really cool underwater paper. What you would do is then count how many of each of these organisms you see.
Okay.
So, you know, I saw 7 blacksmith, I saw 2 Garibaldi, whatever. And we want to make sure that we have some watches so we can record our starting and ending times.
The indicator species that we were looking for were the blacksmith, Garibaldi, kelp, calico bass, sheephead, male and female, Gorgonian, sea urchin, cucumber, and the giant kelp.
So we can lay down a measuring tape on the bottom and use that as our guide, and we swim along that tape and look on either side of that line and see what we're seeing as we go. And you can dive down or swim at the surface.
Are you going to use like an actual line? Like
I have a measuring tape.
Okay.
We'll go out and we'll do several replications of this. So we're going to do this over and over instead of just doing it once, so we can really get a good idea of what's going on out there. And then we'll come back, we'll tally it up, and we'll compare all of our numbers and see what we find.
Okay, cool.
Let's meet Elle.
Hi, my name is Elle. I want to be a veterinarian for big animals, actually. I have 2 horses, Blackie and Slurpee, 1 dog, Gemma, 1 leopard gecko, Finn, 5 chickens, a bunny named Monty, 2 cats, Ashy and Smudge.
Bye, Elle.
Bye.
We're heading out to a dive spot. We are going to investigate how many, like the population and whether it's a healthy reef or a non-healthy reef.
Woohoo! Here we go. Hold on tight.
Maybe because I've been scuba diving longer than her, so I have more dives under my belt. And the little things that my sister can do, like, we're sisters, the little things, like, tick us off. We're like, ah. It could work peaceably, or it could work World War III. So who knows? What place is this?
This is called Lion's Head. This is actually a great spot. We're going to be mostly out of the wind. We should be protected from the surge as well, so we won't be moving back and forth in the water as much, which is going to be really nice for us.
Yeah.
It's not protected. Not a lot of divers come here, but it does get fished a lot.
So this is the unprotected reef.
Lay the transect down. You guys will each do your 1 count, and then we'll move it and do the same thing in a slightly different spot, and then a 3rd spot. So
we're doing 3 total trials, just one, each one is in a different area?
Yes, each person will count each line once.
Okay. All right. These are our wetsuit babies. It's got all of our stuff.
And it makes it look even more like a baby if you put the hood in like that.
You're gonna be cold in that. 1, 2, 3.
How do I look?
All right, let's get that booty on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not getting
Tell me
cold.
you got 2 left booties. Are you kidding me? You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
You got 2 left booties.
That's gonna be awesome.
I've heard of 2 left feet and dancing, but snorkeling?
Got it. Yes. Wow, that feels weird.
Instead of being side by side, we're gonna go end to end like this, just like we discussed. And if you have any problems, let me know. What are our signals if we're having an issue?
Okay, and waving if we're in trouble.
Great, sounds good.
Cold! Very, very cold.
When I was little, I used to think that being a scientist was wearing a lab coat and with the safety goggles and mixing chemicals. But then there's also the kind of scientist that Colleen is. You get to go scuba diving, and you get to study fish, and there's so many different types of sciences that people can study.
Who's gonna go first on our first one?
I will go first.
I said it, you just raised your hand, I win.
Meg will go first on the first one, you'll go first on the third one.
Okay, I'm starting.
Okay, we'll
Ready?
give you a head start. I'm ready.
Set, go. We tried the Transect dive method,
And with the Transect, you have a line that you're following.
and a meter on either side was our kind of boundary to see if any fish or invertebrates or any of our indicator species went into that boundary. And if it did, then we would mark it down. It was fun because once you did the Transect method, you kind of get into like a zone and you totally space out and you just focus on what the task is at hand.
I'm trying to find a unique fish, like me.
There were definitely many different types of kelp on this dive. It was harder to distinguish the certain kind of kelp that we're going for the giant kelp.
I definitely go with the motion of swaying back and forth. I guess in a way you could see more doing that because you're not like focused on fighting the current.
I saw a couple kelp bass, a bunch of Garibaldi, and a bunch of the kelp. It's really pretty.
Let's go ahead and tally up our data sheets, like put totals before we forget.
Those boat rides are always probably some of my favorite times of camp, just because you are so burnt out from scuba diving or snorkeling. And you're on this boat and you're just seeing the entire island. So that's my favorite part. Tomorrow we are going to the protected reef at the Avalon Dive Park to see if anything changes from unprotected to protected.
Now, this is still pretty early in the morning, so it's not that crowded yet. It is the summer here on Catalina on a weekend, and so my prediction is we're gonna have probably about 100 divers here by the mid-afternoon. It drops off pretty quick, so by the time you get to the outer edge of the buoys, I'd say it's about 80 feet deep.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's my first time at the dive park. I'm very excited.
We're all tired, but we're having fun.
I like 20 times checked. Make sure I had 2 different booties this time.
It's been a long couple of days, but we're having fun collecting all the data. The beach is that away.
Where's the meter on your body? So for me,
It's from my fingertips to right around here. I'm not gonna do free hair. I'm gonna tie my hair back today. Just kind of getting in my way yesterday.
Hey! No, mine's longer. Good.
Huh, so this is the protected reef. I wonder if we'll see more fish here.
So we took our first Transect dive data, and there's actually a lot more blacksmith. We saw some blacksmith, and pretty much it was the same amount Garibaldi and giant kelp. We saw a few kelp bass, not many invertebrates though, but that could change when we go scuba diving.
I saw a few urchins when I dove down. I saw a ton of Garibaldi. I saw 17 Garibaldi. I didn't really count how many blacksmiths, so I just said a big school of blacksmiths.
Oh, okay. The actual Transect dive took about 3 minutes.
Oh, see, for me it was 5.
Yeah, see, mine was a little bit shorter than usual. I think I'd sped it up a little bit.
any reasons why I might have been speeding up?
The surge could be one thing. It was really surgy in one area, and like the line was like moving back and forth, so that could have sped up our data. It was not as clear as it can be here. Usually here it's crystal clear,
Yeah.
but it was a little hazy. Hi, I'm Meg.
Hi, Meg.
Lucky's the grumpy one. Sometimes I'm kind of the outsider of my family though, just because they're all big horse people. I like the chickens best. They're my favorite. They're so entertaining. But if you ever wear like bright red nail polish, they will like attack your hands.
Note to self. Don't wear red nail polish around chickens.
I've been playing club soccer for 5 years. We live in the middle of nowhere, but I like it here. That's a plus, that's a big plus.
Bye.
All you wrote is big school. How am I supposed to know how much that is?
I couldn't count them all.
We are averaging up all of the fish that we saw. So we're gonna take all of our averages and put it into a chart to see the numbers of fish compared to a protected area versus an unprotected area. Now we're doing Garibaldi.
11, 9, 10, 17, 10. Kelp bass. 4, 1, 2.
We gotta divide everything by 6. The 6 is because
That's how many.
I did 3 Transect dives and she did 3 Transect dives, so you add them all together because we're putting all of our data together. All right, next is giant kelp, 7. Next is Gorgonian, 0. We already know.
Sheephead. Numbers.
0.
0.
It's all 0.
0 plus 0 plus
Why?
0 plus 0.
I think that we worked pretty well together. There were definitely moments where it was like, okay, this is like too much of the little sister. Too much of the little sister. It's like little sister overload. Do you really need to do this?
0 divided by 6 equals
0. Oh, shocker there. But then there's times where it's like, I'm having fun. Hey, Elle, look what I found.
All right, awesome. We can use that because the paper might have been a little small.
So we have a very large dry erase board now.
These scissors cut weird on the waterproof paper.
Because our highest number for the averages is 11, let's only take it up to 15.
And there's the kelp bass. Look at all these colors.
Wow.
Giant kelp is for Avalon.
Yeah.
9.
Gorgonian Avalon.
0.
Okay, cucumber Avalon.
0.
Hey, ladies, how's it going?
Hey, Colleen.
What are you up to here?
We made a chart, as you can see, a chart of all of the data that we've collected over the past few days with you.
Oh, wow.
Of all the fish and the invertebrates and all these indicator species. I've noticed that in all of our data, Avalon Dive Park, the green, has a lot more numbers than the Lion's Head has.
I wonder if that's because the dive park is protected.
Well, we figured out since these are the 2 that are fish,
Yes.
there are definitely a lower amount of them because, well, I know that the dive park is protected,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean that when they're out of the dive park, when they get fish, it doesn't really give them a chance to come to the dive park.
Right, so they're not always staying in the dive park. They
Yeah.
can move in and out of the
Yes.
dive park. Okay, right. That's a great observation.
Also,
We talked about the weather and how that could have been a large factor of why we did not see many of these invertebrates, the urchins, gorgonians, cucumbers, because it was so surgy. And also at the Avalon Dive Park, there were many other divers that could have kicked up the bottom.
That's a good
So that could
point.
have like hurt the visibility some.
Do you know what urchins primarily eat?
Kelp, giant kelp.
Okay, great. So these guys are pretty much sitting on the bottom. They're never going to be swimming around in the water at all. They're sitting on the bottom, and they're eating seaweed. Most of the time, they're just going to eat drift seaweed that's kind of broken off and is drifting by, and they can just eat it that way. Another indicator species is the California sheephead. Any guesses what these guys might eat?
kelp swirl?
Nope.
Urchins?
Yeah, they're going to eat urchins. When the sheephead get to be pretty big, they can actually eat urchins. They also eat other hard things like crabs and things like that. So if we fish out a lot of our sheephead, if we reduce the numbers of sheephead, what's going to happen to our other populations?
The urchin is going to grow numerously.
Yeah.
And then it's going to eat all the giant kelp, and then the giant kelp is going to go down, and then any animal that eats giant kelp is going to die because they don't have any food. And then...
Plus, giant kelp also gives shelter
Yeah.
to many animals. So if the California sheephead, it's kind of like a domino effect.
So it's all interrelated. A
That's what I
domino effect. If we take one, even just one piece of this giant web out of order, then we're going to have implications down the line. Okay, so ladies, now that we have all of your data put together, we can go ahead and enter it in the Reef Check database. We'll enter our Avalon data first.
In Lion's Head, there were not as many indicator species as there were in Avalon. We saw greater amount of indicator species in Avalon.
Let's scuba.
All
Alright, this is the BC. It's buoyancy compensator. You can you can inflate it and deflate it to make you float, like bob on the surface, or when you deflate it, the weight of the tank makes you sink, and your weight belt makes you sink down. And
I think we'll have a much greater chance of seeing sea cucumbers, urchins, and gorgonians because we have the opportunity to go to the bottom and move things around and actually search for them. Getting ready for scuba diving, putting on the wetsuit, putting on your BC, everything, or even snorkeling, just putting on the wetsuit is pretty much the most challenging part of the entire dive. Just because you definitely work up a sweat.
Fins on, rag in, not your snorkel. Just makes it a little easier. And then you'll kind of wait for a wave. You'll pop out one at a time, swim out to me, give you okay, and then the next one will go.
Okay.
Whoever's going first.
I want to see some of the gorgonians and urchins and cucumbers because we were not able to see those while snorkeling. When you go scuba diving, you forget about how cold you are or how tired you are because you're so focused on, oh my God, look what's around me. It's so amazing. And you get up close and personal with these animals and plants.
when we went down, we definitely saw some urchins, some gorgonians. We saw a lot of
some
things.
sheephead.
Yeah.
Just the way like the beauty is presented to you while scuba diving, it can get your attention and you want to learn more about it. I mean, if marine biology was not as like beautiful like work as it was, then I doubt so many people would be interested in it.
I think that's going to be cool because we're actually like helping people in doing actual data that's going to help people and be on an official website to see how our reefs are doing and how our fish are doing. And I think it's going to be really cool.
Cool as a cucumber. A sea cucumber, that is. So you went through the latest teen magazines and found 3 indicator clothing items?
Yep, just like you said to. So, if you have all of them, I think it's safe to say you're a fashion do.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, do you have a striped scarf?
I'm pretty sure I do. Yep, here.
Sweet. Okie dokie. How about plaid shorts?
Oh, totally. Got 'em.
Fine. Here comes the tough one, though. Polka-dotted sneakers.
Ha! Ta-da! Got 'em.
Seems to me, if you've got the indicator fashion items, you're good to go.
Yay! Huh. You know, together these would make a fab outfit.
Yeah, I don't think wearing them all together is quite what the fashionistas had in mind.
You know, Jake, I don't think I care.
Whoa! That's, unique.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? And I don't even care what that means. To me, it's a good thing. Ta-da!
I've been calling her Titi since she was born. I've been called Megala.
Peggy putting in a pie.
Just going on TV. Titi is loco, annoying. I'm kidding.
Friendly.
I'll put sweet in.
Or something nice. Meg is nice and sweet in one word. Nuit.
Oh, Neataroo.
Funny at times.
Nito?
Nuit. Stop laughing. Sloppy.
Don't hug me now. Ow.
We decided to build a basking turtle platform. We wanted to learn what we could do about the population.
I'm holding a snapping turtle.
This week at archaeology camp, we're trying to find out about the Fremont people.
Climbing.
I can't wait to start trying to find these artifacts.
I thought it was nothing until I started digging.
We're gonna set up our own mini wind farm.
We were just really awestruck at the size of these huge wind turbines.
Wind power.
Yeah!
Funding for SciGirls is provided by the following. The National Science Foundation, supporting education and research across all fields of science and engineering. The National Science Foundation, where discoveries begin.
Math, science, and curious young minds. They're our future. That's why ExxonMobil and former astronaut Sally Ride created the Sally Ride Science Academy to help teachers inspire our students so they may become the scientists and engineers of tomorrow.
Hey there! Hi! The SciGirls website is off the hook. You can set up a profile, find new friends, create a page for your science project, watch SciGirls videos, and have fun. So come on, be a SciGirl on pbskidsgo.org. See you there. Bye!